Meet Hadar Bukris. This 21-year-old Jewish girl studied theater and had two goals in life: to travel to India and to get married. Hadar completed a half-year trek through India in late 2015, and according to one of her closest friends, quote, she was already thinking of what names to give her future children. One of Hadar's teachers described her as, quote, a fantastic, bright girl. She always created positive vibes around her friends. She was also a kind of psychologist who would lend a sympathetic ear to whoever needed it. Another of her friends described Hadar's, quote, beautiful spirit and how she would start her day with a huge smile of optimism and love, a lioness in the midst of battle who never gave in to sorrow or pain. On November 22, 2015, while Hadar was sitting at a bus stop, a Palestinian terrorist stabbed her repeatedly in the face, head, and chest. She was taken to the hospital in critical condition, but died a few hours later. The story of Hadar's murder and her funeral, which was attended by thousands of Israelis, was covered in depth by the Israeli media and certain U.S. news outlets. HuffPost, however, completely ignored Hadar's murder and the grief of her loved ones at her funeral. Contrast the way HuffPost treated Hadar to the sympathetic front-page coverage it gave in the past to Palestinian terrorists who were killed, including one whom HuffPost's headline only indicated was a Palestinian, but the caption of its photo revealed he was a terrorist. A Palestinian who snuck into Israel. A Palestinian journalist who alleged she was detained and interrogated, yet was somehow able to live tweet it. And the top of the front page splash headline it gave to a Palestinian filmmaker who alleged he was briefly detained at a U.S. airport. Also, contrast how HuffPost treated Hadar to how it treated members of an all-girl Russian punk band after they were arrested for barging into a famed Orthodox church in Moscow during services, then singing a vulgar song. HuffPost essentially went apoplectic over the plight of this band, Pussy Riot, and began a multi-year stream of more than 100 sympathetic stories about these victims, including top-of-the-front-page splash headlines. In fact, while HuffPost's own search engine reveals it has never mentioned Hadar's name even once, a search of the term Pussy Riot returns more than 130,000 references at HuffPost. So, being that HuffPost decided to completely ignore Hadar's murder, what kinds of sympathetic news stories did it decide were more worthy of graphic, personalized, front-page coverage in the following days instead? Here's a sampling. A story about an abused puppy, and a splash headline about Muslim refugees who are sewing their mouths shut, and a story about a rhino that died.